everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today to watch my video about painting woodland creatures. Just a little honest talk before you get started here. It's been hard going on this YouTube channel. I love teaching you guys and I am going to try my best to keep adding new content. That's not right either. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you guys are here to learn along with me, and the past couple weeks it's been hard to get this video on my channel. I have had it filmed for at least 2 weeks now, but I just have not had time to edit with my kiddos being home, and we're basically starting our second summer break. It's been tough. I've been feeling parented out and just even some days I'm like, well, am I starting to get depressed? And I remind myself to go back to painting to clear my mind and to focus on the good things in my life. And I don't know if you can relate to that, or but if you can, know that you are not alone. It's hard. It's been tough, but I love my children and I want to be there for my children, and so that's why it's been a little quiet on my channel. It's just the reality of having 4 young kiddos, but today I finally was able to get this video edited and online for you guys, and so I hope you love learning how to paint these creatures. I think they're a simple, quick thing to paint. You can frame them. There's a picture of them with them framed, and I think they make cute nursery decor and little kids room, or even, honestly, your kids can paint these as well. So need a babysitter for a couple minutes, put my video on for them. So as always, I would love for you guys to like my video and subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment if you guys have any questions. But yeah, I hope you enjoy painting. All right, so to get started, I am using Canson watercolor paper today. I ran out of my Arches watercolor paper, and so I'm using Canson instead. And I am using my size 8 Princeton Velvet Touch. This is my favorite paintbrush by far. It holds a lot of water and keeps its point very well. Today we're gonna paint some woodland creatures. These are gonna be very simple, easy, quick little creatures that you guys can paint to frame and put on your wall or just play around with. So yeah, we're gonna start with the bear, and I mixed some burnt umber with some lamp black, and I'm watering it down quite a bit, dipping my brush in and out of the water to get rid of the excess paint that I don't want. And we're gonna start with a rectangular shape with curved corners. So you're gonna go ahead and fill that in. Doesn't have to be perfect. And grabbing my paper towel here to dab the excess water on there, and then we're gonna add his ears right away. I'm gonna do the top 2 corners. Now you can fill in the inside, but I am choosing to leave that blank to give it some depth. All right, so we're gonna let this dry, and while this dries, we're gonna move on to the fox. For the fox, I mixed together some, I believe it is cadmium orange with some burnt umber. Again, we're gonna work on the face of the fox. Start by making a upside down, or the top half of a circle. And then you're gonna bring it out just a little bit like this. And you're gonna go back with a C curve there. Most of the shapes that you use in watercolor are C and S curves. So like this is a C curve and this is a C curve. And up here, this is actually a C curve as well. And so you'll hear a lot of artists reference C curves and S curves because truly that's what most things are made of. Here is a C curve, actually a long C curve, but yeah. So while this is just a little bit damp, I'm gonna take my water and I'm gonna go down a little bit here so that that bleeds a little bit into that white space there. And we're gonna give him a neck with a little bit more paint. Also, this is the part of painting where you start to panic and think, oh no, like what is this gonna turn out to be? Like this does not look very, doesn't look like a fox, but it will come together. I'm telling you, so many times I have panicked and in the end, it all comes together. Adding his ears. Okay, that one got a little top of his head, but you could add it a little bit more here at the side. He's just gonna have pointy ears. Also, we're not going for perfection, we're going for cute woodland creatures. And yeah. All right, I'm gonna see if this bear is dry. One way you can tell if your paper is completely dry is using the back of your fingers or your hand. And if it feels cool to the touch, it's still wet, even though if you touch, you don't get paint on your fingers. This is still feeling cool. So, but I feel like it's dry enough for what we're gonna do. So we're gonna get a little bit more of this burnt umber and black mixture, and we're gonna go in and just make a circle down here. This is where his mouth is gonna be. And then using, you could either use black paint or you can also use a micron pen for the rest of his features. I am going to use my size 4 Princeton brush with some black paint instead of my micron pen. The micron pen is a waterproof pen with archival ink and works very, very well. I use this pen in my portrait illustrations so that the watercolor doesn't leak, doesn't make the pen bleed. So now you're gonna take your brush or pen, you're gonna create his eyes. I'm leaving just a little bit of a white space that I'm not painting in his eye. That gives the eye more depth and yeah. This is still wet, so we're not gonna add in his mouth, but see how that's already coming together versus when he was just a blank little face. This fox is still pretty damp, so we're gonna wait on his face and move on to the raccoon. Switching back to my size 8, I'm just gonna get some lamp black and gonna mix just a tiny bit of blue in there, some ultramarine blue and some Payne's gray. This gives the black paint a richer, more full-bodied color. When you add different colors to the black, or you start with like a purple and a brown and a blue and mix those together, it gives you a deeper black than just a blah black. That's the only way I know how to explain it. So you're gonna take your black and again, thinking of S curves and C curves, you're gonna start here and go up. This one's pretty wide, so we're gonna fix that a little bit. And actually here, I messed this guy up, so we're gonna fix it here. We're gonna do a light wash. And we're gonna come down. Okay guys, my husband just came in my room and I can't paint while he's watching, so We're gonna wait for him to leave. I'm sorry, honey. Okay, so back to the raccoon. All right, so you're gonna take a very light wash of black and you're going to go up and down. And we're gonna let this dry before we keep going, because actually first we're gonna add his ears at the top. Okay, this raccoon might not turn out how I'm thinking in my head and from the picture that I'm going off of, but we're gonna give it a whirl. I'm actually gonna take my brush and I'm gonna pick up some of this paint down here because I want this to be super light. So we're gonna pick some of this up, and even up here, picking up some of this paint. That actually worked pretty good. So, and I want him to have a neck as well. All right, so back to the fox. Picking up my, actually, you know what? Let's finish the bear first. So back to his nose. I am going to give him a button nose. And a little mouth. All right, moving on to the fox. I am going to use my micron pen to show you what it looks like with the micron pen. Now this is a size 0.5, and you can get many different sizes. Like this one is a 0.1, and this is super tiny. And this is for fine details, but I like this 0.5 one. So we're gonna give this little fox some eyes here. Again, I'm coloring in everything but a little spot on his eye. And we're gonna do his little nose right away. All right, and one thing that I have not done with him is his ears. Getting this orange color, adding just a little bit more brown to it to give it a darker. Today my kiddos are, actually right now they're watching a movie, and my husband went out to join them. So there we go. All right, I think the raccoon is probably ready to work on as well. So I'm going to get this black again, and a darker concentrated black, and we're gonna start up here and we're gonna go down and to give him that raccoon face, and then here again C curve, and we're gonna paint this the darker shade. Something with watercolor to remember is always start light and you can always go darker. That is like it's really hard to pick up your dark pigment if you use too much. So we're gonna let that dry and come back to that. And our last little creature that we're going to do is a bunny. And we're gonna use the same shade of brown. So going back to that, get a light wash of that. So we're gonna do upside down C. And Another upside down C. Kind of meeting in the middle and giving a point there. Turn that a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, and we're gonna give it some ears right away. Using Canson paper, this paper absorbs water very quickly, and so it will dry fairly fast, and it won't let you rework it as easily as Arches paper. Arches has more tooth to it, and it lets your water pool on the top just a little bit more than this paper. Typically I use Canson paper to practice and to try out different composition and ideas, but I'm out of that Arches paper, and it is considerably more expensive than this paper, and this is just fine. Like, it works just fine. So don't be afraid to use this Canson paper. All right, the bunny, we're gonna give it a neck, and my 5-year-old has just entered my studio, so there we go. That in a house of 4 kids, there's very little privacy. Yes, bud? Yeah, it's a bunny. All right, so we're gonna grab some darker brown and give the bunny the inner of its ear there. We're gonna make that a little darker. And we're gonna do the same for the raccoon, actually, with the black paint. Yes, bud. Can you go talk to Daddy? Go tell Daddy. Okay? Mama's painting. All right, so I think the raccoon, we're gonna finish his facial features, and the bunny, hopefully that'll be dry by the time we're done with the raccoon. So I'm gonna use my brush with lamp black paint again. I'm using the size 4. Princeton Velvet Touch, getting my black. And this time we're just gonna make, oh dear, here. We're just gonna make little circles like this, and I'm filling them in completely this round. Ooh, that got so big. I don't like that big eye. So we're gonna take my paper towel and we're gonna dab that off and try again. That's a little bit better, but it's bleeding because it was wet, but we'll roll with it. All right, his mouth. All right, not bad. Now the bunny, his face is dry, so we're gonna give him some eyes. Yes, sweetie. You need to go tell Daddy, okay? Mommy can't get it for you right now. See, this is what happens when you've got kids pulling on your shoulder. But that's also real life. Many of us have little kiddos in our life, and yeah. All right, let's see here. All right, no touching, okay? No touching. Just watch, okay? All right, so we messed that up a little bit, so we're gonna give this another layer of watercolor here. No touching. No touching. You have to go out to Daddy. My son that's sitting on my lap has Down syndrome and does not talk. So, yeah, Michael, you can come get him. All right, now we're gonna let this bunny dry. All right, now that this is dry, or pretty much dry, I'm gonna use my micron pen to finish the bunny as well. And we're gonna give him some sleepy eyes. All right, there you go. So these are 4 little quick woodland creatures that you can do to add some life and character to your little children's room or nursery. And I am going to paint this bear really quickly in a 9 by 12 size to show you what it can look like. All right, thanks guys.